first got this short, I kept calling it Venerable. Don't know why. It sounded like it was supposed to be that. So first of all, guys, introduce yourselves. Tell us what you did, and then we'll get into this.
No problem. I'm James Sibley. I'm the writer, director, and producer of Venerable, or VENERABLE, as I sometimes call it.
That's better than mine.
My name is Sam Creamer, and I'm the cinematographer and also the co-producer of Venerable as well.
Now, you guys are ridiculously young, which is really killing me right now, because you look pretty young. How young are we?
I'm 12. No, I'm 29.
This film is ridiculously powerful, absolutely brilliant. We loved this shot when it came through and everything. Really hitting the sort of topic that it gets talked about, but maybe never in the right way, is something that I would say. But I need to know where you guys came up with this story and how you came about dealing with this topic the way you did.
Thank you, that means a lot. I have experienced 3 members of my family who have kind of succumbed to this disease, so I've been there with them through all of it. And I, much like you, I've seen other programs on it, and I was a little bit frustrated with how they tend to fixate on the actual condition rather than the person behind it. So that was basically why I wrote this. I wanted to focus on the person behind the condition because they have lived well, loved well, and I think they are indeed venerable, and that is the whole idea behind the programme. So I put little hints in about the condition with disappearing puzzle pieces. The time is a little bit warped in places, a few other little hints, but I didn't want the dementia to be front and centre stage. I wanted their love and their relationship to be the key.
It very much works, because I remember the first time that I watched it on my tiny little laptop, and by the way, up on the big screen, you've done a very good job, because it looks stunning on the screen. But the first time I watched it, I felt like I knew what it was about, but it wasn't really until you kind of get to the end of it that I was kind of, I was right, it is about that, but you take it on a journey of like more compassion, which is, I guess, was the point.
It was, yeah. Yeah, as I was kind of alluding to, sometimes it can be a little bit cruel.
Yeah.
So I wanted to try and maybe a little bit cathartic for people watching it who have experienced this, and to focus on what people.
So let's step back a quick second, because I wanted to get there first because I wanted to talk about the shot, but let's step back a quick second. What's your background and how did you guys get together to make this shot?
Oh, good question. I'm going to pass over to Sam first.
James and I have known each other probably coming up near on about 10 years now. So as I say, we already said we were quite young, relatively speaking anyway, so we met in our kind of late teens.
I'm nearly 40, so yeah.
Through a mutual friend. James was at a different uni studying performing arts. I was studying filmmaking. We come together and made a short film as students do. We worked together well. We ended up kind of reconvening through varying different productions through different people, really, and then come back around on ourselves and said, well, we seem to work well when we're in a team together. Why don't we start our own team and make films with each other rather than for other people? And I've been kind of aiming towards being a cinematographer ever since I left uni, really. So that's been my kind of career trajectory.
Yes, so we formed the Power Rangers, or Volatile Pictures.
Power Rangers, I love it.
Just for my background, so I think Sam's very eloquently explained how we met. Just my background, I started off originally as an actor, and then I was frustrated that I didn't have more of a control in what was happening. So I said, actually, I want to be that side of the camera, and I've always had an interest in writing, and after working on a few other film sets for other directors, feature films and such, I kind of found my love for behind the camera work and worked my way up from a production assistant up to production coordinator and producer roles.
So you guys seem like you're pretty tight and close-knit. What is the collaborative process like with you?
We don't collaborate, we hate each other, no.
All the best ones do.
No, I have an idea, and I'll kind of pitch the idea once I've sorted it out in my head to Sam, and he'll either be like, yeah, that's a really good idea, or he'll roll his eyes and we'll never talk about it again. Fortunately, Venerable was one of the first, so it was something we wanted to make together. And I write the projects, but right from the start, I start talking to Sam about how we want it to look. And I think that's a big advantage having a director and photographer on right from the writing stage, so we can start to shape the look of the film before the first draft is even complete.
How is it seeing it up there with an audience? And we had a few in the audience today that reacted quite emotionally as well. I noticed a few people. How is it seeing it up there and getting that reaction when it's finally made?
First of all, it's scary. You don't know how it's going to hold up on the big screen. We've only ever seen it on the small screen. This is the premiere for us, so we were quite nervous, but it's so gratifying to share it with an audience, because that's what we're here for, ultimately. So yeah, it was just really good.
I'll just quickly piggyback on that and say, it's always, as James said, terrifying when you know your work is being scrutinised on a big screen. But to be able to see, the kind of outcome of hours and hours of hard work, and the crew that you've got with you all coming together to make something great. And shout out to my first AC, Mike Mowbray, as well, who really, he's around somewhere, but who really helps me do my job and help me get my vision across on the screen. So that's really important as well, is having good people around you.
And your vision did come across as, I've already said it, so I'm not gonna pad it to you anymore. It does look fantastic.
Thank you.
How did you go about casting these two characters? Because the big crux of a short like this, or a movie like this, when you're telling the stories, you have to cast spot on. How did you get this perfect couple?
We pulled names out of a hat. No, we wanted to cast them as a couple. So we had some really strong individual performances, but we couldn't marry them up to another actor. So when we were doing casting, we deliberately did it side by side. Most of them were self-tapes. And people offered very different things tonally. There were some people who played the role Ingrid played so well, very jovially. And in that case, it didn't quite match up with some of the Arthurs we had. And the casting combination we had in the end was so powerful, with the combination of Ingrid, who played it beautifully, and then Andy, who was a bit more jovial. And we were really lucky with our cast, although we did have some very interesting casting videos.
Oh, nice. Any you can share?
Some people need to check the footage before they send it.
I'm betting there's a lot of that since lockdown and everything like that. We were all living in our PJs, so am I right in saying we have shown one of your shorts before at the Romford Film Festival?
Yes, you have indeed. The last one was completely different. It was a game of Russian roulette in 2020.
Yes.
Called Chamomile.
How do you go from that movie to this movie?
I don't understand the question, exactly the same. No, yes. I think that's why we wanted to explore other areas. We quite like dramas. We do enjoy making thrillers, and our background working in feature films together is actually in horrors. So we do have a background in films like Chamomile. But what we really wanted to do is also write something personal and tell a personal story as well, just to expand our horizons a little.
And you've worked on features before. Would you ever expand this short into a feature, or is this a one and done thing for you guys?
For this one, for me, it is a one and done. I don't think I can add anything more to the story. I wanted it to be a little slice of their life, and you can kind of glimpse their kind of love for each other through that. I don't feel adding more time would expand that necessarily.
And this question is one that I've been asking a lot this week, because every filmmaker I speak to, when I ask them a certain question, they can only tell me what they see up on the screen that is wrong. I suppose this is more for Sam, because you're the DOP. So every time people watch their films up there, they go, oh, I can see so much wrong with it. What's right with this movie? What did you nail? What are you the most proud of as a DOP?
Okay, so those that know me will be the first to know that shouting my own praises is the most uncomfortable thing for me. So exactly. But I mentioned to James before, we were talking about this film the other day when we met up, and I said that it's one of the first times where I've seen the images as they played out on the script marry to what the final vision is, or what the final output is. It's the first time I've really seen my own work come together as I'd imagined it to be before I'd done it. Usually it will change, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. But this is the first time for me I really feel that when I look at this film, it's the film I saw in my head before it happened. And one of the things that we really discussed going into it, obviously as a cinematographer, you try to make sure that actors look as clean as possible, that they are as soft as possible. You don't like blemishes on the skin. Obviously, for a film about this type of topic and about people and about real lives, it's important to make sure that you capture things like the wrinkles in someone's skin, the years that they've lived, and that was very important to me to capture in this film. So hopefully, I was able to do that justice.
Awesome. And yourself?
Yeah, I think it was very brave. We did have this debate over actors being soft or showing their true features, and I'm really glad Sam did, because it really came through. Just adding to that point. As for things that went well, I'm very pleased with the actors' honesty and how brave they were on camera, because it isn't an easy topic, and they just threw themselves into it so well, so bravely. And credit to just the cast and all the crew, who also were 100% behind the project and all seemed to have personal investment in it. So I'm most proud of the cast and crew that I had associated with it.
It's definitely a hugely relatable story, and I guess that's why everybody's taken to it so far. And what's next for the short? Are you doing more festivals? And then after the festival run, what happens to Venerable?
Those are good questions. We've entered a few other film festivals. We want to give as many people the opportunity to watch it as possible, so we'd really like to get the story out there, as it is so personal to us. And then we're going to eventually put it to rest somewhere where people can access it. We're not sure yet where that's going to be. Some people have changed their policies.
Yeah.
So that's very much up for grabs.
Awesome. And what's next for you guys as a partnership? As if you're doing things separately, what's next going forward?
Getting a divorce. No, I am currently chained to my writing desk. I'm out on probation today, writing the next project, which is going to hopefully be a feature-length movie, more along the lines of Venerable, completely different topic, but touching on similar themes such as love, relationships, and time. And
is this going to be a project for the two of you?
I've not told Sam this yet. No, yes, absolutely. Sam is 100% on board.
Yeah, so that's certainly something that's been in the pipeline for us, and we are, I won't reveal any details of that film because it's very closely guarded.
We're there already.
But certainly it's a project that we've talked about and discussed and talked about since pre-Chamomile. So it's something that will be great to bring to life eventually. Of course, there are other challenges that come with making a feature film. So that will be our next step, is dealing with that process. And for me, I'll just continue shooting, and I take my camera out and film things and see nice things, and keep trying to find new shots.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for coming on. It's been absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see what you do next, because we got Chamomile and then we got Venerable, and I have to say the jump that you have made as a team. We all like Chamomile, but the jump you have made is just, yeah. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much for having us. Thank you.
You've still got a job to do. Let the people know where they can find you guys on social media and everything like that, and where they can find your projects.
Fantastic. Well, you can always check us out on our website at volatilepictures.co.uk. I am on Instagram at samcreamercine, all one word. You can find us as a team on Volatile Pictures Ltd. And James?
Somewhere on Instagram. But you can mainly get me through our Team Volatile Pictures page as well. So thank you very much for having us here again today, just to reiterate.
Thank you for submitting the short and letting us show it, because we all loved it. So, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.